Binance settles for $4.3 billion, CZ steps down, and the question is what's next for crypto? And that is exactly what I'm talking about on this show. I haven't done a live this week, but now I'm here. If you live under a rock, this is the place to be because I'm gonna go through and explain to you everything that happened today. It's been a crazy day. I'm not even gonna talk about the FOMC minutes. I'm not even gonna talk about all the other shit that's been happening. I'm gonna talk about purely on what happened with this craziness in the past couple of hours that basically unfolded. The largest exchange in the world, CZ, I don't even know how to call him. Like, he's an icon stepping down, Binance being fined or settling for $4.3 billion. Crazy shit. So let's jump right into it. Guys, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We do lives every single day. Robert Duck Tuts, what's up, man? Nice to see you here. So let's jump into it. So here is that thing. Yesterday, we see a tweet saying US seeks more than $4 billion from Binance to end criminal case. Now, why is this interesting? It is interesting because Binance has been sued, I think, on 13 counts by the states. Reason being, you know, they're not complying, they're not reporting what they had, they don't do KYC, all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what these were, but I know that it was very relevant for the industry. And when I say that, I mean, you know, when this whole thing came out, it was 2020. When this whole thing came out, it was really a question whether Binance can survive this, whether the industry can survive this. Let's not forget that Binance already back then was pretty big, and now obviously the biggest. 90% of all volume is at Binance. I'm going to talk about it in a second. So when that came out, it put a lot of light, just like the XRP drama with the SEC is the same thing. You know, we were not sure what's going to happen if Binance and if CZ get found guilty, and if they, you know, especially after the FTX collapse, we did not know if they do commingle funds, if they mismanage customer funds, what's happening. So this was a big announcement, and the reason why the market pumped right into resistance actually is because the end is coming. So when we say there is seeks more than 4.5 billion from Binance to end criminal case, and when you look into, I didn't put the tweets up here, but basically it was obvious that this is gonna be some kind of settlement coming in. So it's not like they announced that they find them and they found them guilty. It's some kind of settlement. And why this is interesting is the following: because if you have a settlement coming from the government, coming from the Department of Justice, it means that they did not find anything. So they had 3 years running this investigation into Binance and they did not find anything. So the fact that they did not find anything and they come up and they say, okay, so let's settle, you know, we found, you know, we were accusing you for, you know, we were accusing you for doing money laundering. We were accusing you for not tracking customers. We were accusing you of all that shit, but it's fine. Pay us $4 billion and we forget it. Come on, man. Come on, seriously. Like, the US government never disappoints. Anyway, so this was a good relief for the market because, you know, because we were expecting this settlement to come in, and that would put an end, just like when the SEC case ended, that kind of put an end to an era, that kind of put an end to this doubt what's going to happen next, and that's why the market kind of pumped into resistance. And then obviously market makers did their job, and this is exactly what we see here. We call this consolidation, and we consolidated, and today we had a major dump, and we did not know, we were expecting a dump, but honestly we did not expect that this major low will be broken. So in the community that we have, by the way, if you're not part of the community, you are missing out. Daily calls, courses, education, incredible fucking family. Click on the subscription below. Do that as well. Keep in the description below and join us. It's free until the end of the year. It's definitely worth it. Anyway, so we had this major manipulation here, and we do close below on a 15-minute, and even I believe even in the hour we close below this major low, which would indicate that we are going down. And I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. What would this whole situation mean for the market? So stay along there. So, but we have today, we see the dump, and then we get the DOJ tweet saying the DOJ to announce cryptocurrency enforcement actions today. Now, what is interesting here is that this is exactly what they are doing. They are longing the shorts, because the news, when the news came out that there will be a cryptocurrency enforcement action coming from the DOJ today, this already had, the dump has already ended. So the late shorts that were coming in here below the major level were bought up by market makers. Exactly. So that's exactly what we saw. And this is why, even though that it was an announcement, DOJ to announce cryptocurrency enforcement actions today, which could sound very bad for the industry, the market's pumped because everybody was shorting. Short. What the DOJ is announcing cryptocurrency enforcement actions, short. What do we see here? Clear market maker action. They get stop losses triggered by taking this low out, and then they simply escalate. They simply send the price up, buy the sells up, and send the price back. And then what is interesting, we're talking about manipulation on this channel. I'll talk a lot about it. You can call me conspiracy theories, I don't care. It is what it is. But then up here, when we're approaching this OB here, the tweet comes out, an announcement comes out by Forbes saying Binance CEO CZ in discussion to step down as criminal investigation ends. Ends meaning, there is basically an end to this whole thing. There is a settlement, and there will be and CZ potentially will step down. Now, this whole thing is before the DOJ press conference. The whole thing before that. So then an article comes out, and this is the important stuff before the conference, right? This is what we really want to look at. So the article says this is the U.S. Department of the Treasury. So this is up on their website, and it says the U.S. Treasury announces largest settlement in history with world's largest virtual currency exchange, Binance, for violation of U.S. anti-money laundering and sanctions law. Now you would think this sounds serious, so let's look at it. What this means. So if you scroll down and you read this whole thing, not worth reading it, by the way, just the first segment here. But basically what it says is that today Binance settled with FinCEN. Is basically, I looked it up. FinCEN is like one of the arms of the DOJ in this regard, or the Treasury in this regard. And OFAC for violations of the Bank Secrecy Act. And apparent violation was multiple sanctions programs. So this basically, they say the violations include failure to implement programs to prevent and report suspicious transactions. Now this is what they call, what was it? The anti-money laundering. So this is what they call the anti-money laundering. This here. The violations include failure to implement programs to prevent and report suspicious transactions with terrorists, including Hamas. Obviously, why would not Hamas be on top? If this was a year ago, it would have been, something else. It would have been ISIS. Now ISIS is on the bottom of the list, but anyway, I don't even want to go into that. But I'm just saying, like, it's the reason why I'm driving this whole thing up, and this is why it's worth watching this video until the end, is because this whole thing is nothing else than just setting an example. Like, if they pick Binance out and they say, look, we can't find jack shit, pay us $4 billion, we will settle, and we will put it out on the wall and say, we won. That's what this is about. We won. We stopped the exchanges from helping Hamas and Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these, organizations transmit money, and we helped protect the American people from, getting wrecked on exchanges like this and whatnot. That's what the whole thing is about. But let's go into it. So terrorists, including Hamas, Al-Qaeda, Palestine Jihad, all this kind of stuff. Okay, ransomware attacks, money laundering, and other criminals, as well as matching trades between U.S. users and those in sanctioned jurisdictions like Iran, North Korea, Syria, and the Crimea region of Ukraine. Now, let me be super clear. First of all, you can say whatever you want about, CZ and whatnot. I think what this says is that he did not, obviously they made mistakes, right? Not a question. If you look at any exchanges right now, even the exchanges, like, I don't even want to name them, but it's very rare that you can find an exchange that operates legally within the US and operates legally within the world, because you see all this KYC issue. You should know your consumer, right? A lot of the platforms don't do it on a lot of regions, especially the new ones. It's very difficult when you launch out to know all this. You don't have the tech, you don't have the team, you don't have the knowledge. And to be very honest, I don't think they really cared about it. It was Wild West, 2017, 2018, whatever that is. So we don't know when these transactions have been taking place, but one thing is for sure, I know that Binance and CZ specifically said that when this whole conflict or war between Ukraine and Russia broke out, everybody was freezing. Again, I'm not taking sides. Horrible. Any war, anything is horrible. But everybody was like, they were confiscating yachts of people in the Maldives or whatever that was. Not the Maldives, Malta, of Russian oligarchs. But they did not have basically any proof. They just said, you're Russian, you must be an oligarch if you have a yacht here. So we kind of confiscate that. And CZ came out at that time and he was like, the whole purpose of crypto is to not have censorship to this extent. So he said, we are not gonna lock down accounts. We are not, until we have proof that these accounts do money laundering, until we have proof that, you know, these accounts violate any law and harm and threat any or possess any harm to anybody, we're not going to lock accounts down. And that might be the issue here. That might be, like they're saying, again, Crimea region of Ukraine, these might be what they're referring here. Honestly, again, I'm not taking sides, but I think he did, you know, this is the whole purpose, not cutting it down. So if he knew that these was accounts of, you know, Hamas, probably he would not have had it open up, most probably. Anyway, what I'm about to say, I'm not here to take sides. What I'm here to do is to give you an idea and an understanding of what is really happening. So basically, there are two things that you could consider. Number one is that they're getting sued, or they're getting a settlement. First of all, if you're getting a settlement, that means they couldn't really prove anything. That's just what it means. If you're getting a settlement, that means they backed out, but they still win because of whatnot, because they, you know, they have to win, and that's, they put it up on the wall, and this is where CZ is stepping down. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But basically what this does is that if they win, so to say win, they get a settlement. If that happens, they can prove that the whole concept, the whole idea that these crypto exchanges and the cryptocurrencies are used on the dark web and whatnot, and when they can prove that, they can go further on other, you know, for other exchanges, which is most probably going to come. But there are two aspects, two ways of understanding this. Number one is that you're getting sued or getting a settlement because you're SBF and because you commingle funds, and you know, you don't, like, that's one where you really kind of screw your customers. You don't have an account, proper accounting, you don't have proof of funds, you don't have all that kind of stuff, and you kind of commit fraud. And there's the other way that really happened right now with CZ, is that they launched an exchange. And again, I'm not protecting anybody, I'm just telling you. They launched an exchange, which every freaking exchange in the world is launched like this and run. Even today, a lot of these exchanges run like this. They did not monitor, you know, these anti-money laundering rules, which actually I asked ChatGPT. The Bank Secrecy Act is a US federal law established in 1970 to combat money laundering and financial crimes. It mandates financial institutions to report large cash transactions and suspicious activities, maintain customer records, and implement anti-money laundering programs. Now, what is very important is that when you're in crypto, you know that this is just not possible. You just fucking know. It's so difficult to do any of this. And it's not only because they don't want to do, it's because the system is set up in a way, even in Europe, if you go to most of the Eastern European countries, you go there and you say, hey, I want to report my taxes on crypto. They will tell you they have no fucking idea how to do it. There's no guidance, there's no nothing. Imagine the largest exchange in the world goes to the government and says, hey, we want to collaborate, we want to report this, we want to monitor this, tell us what you need from us. But because they don't understand jack shit about this industry, they have no clue. They can't give guidance, they can't give anything. So this is kind of what we see here, that probably they didn't get the guidance that they needed, and maybe they didn't even care about it. I don't care, to be very honest. But what is fact is that they so to say committed these. But I think this is the better version of this whole situation, because they did, very important, they did not say that they, and this is where the tweet comes in, and then we had a conference, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but I want to read up CZ's tweet. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he says, today I stepped down as CEO of Binance. Admittedly, it was not easy to let go emotionally, but I know it is the right thing to do. I made mistakes and I must take responsibility. This is best for our community, for Binance, and for myself. First of all, big ups, man. Like, fucking big ups. This is an era ends. CZ is a legend, an absolute legend, and it will always be an absolute legend. So, and then he talks about, you know, who's going to take over as the CEO, that why is this guy going to be good? What is he going to do? And then at the end, this is the important part. He says, on that note, I'm proud to point out that in our resolution with the US agency, 3 years investigation, they do not allege Binance to misappropriate any user funds. So it's not an SBF, FTX kind of situation. Second, do not allege that Binance engaged in any market manipulation, meaning they did not dump on their people, they did not manipulate the prices. I don't know if that's true, but what I know is that they did not find any evidence that that is the case. Now, this is super important. So let's listen to what these guys on the conference said. He took a big breath. He's like, Cheng Peng Xiao. Yes, it's like, yeah, so you see they're just making an example out of Binance. They're like corporate crime and this and this, and people say they can't hear anything. Is that true? No sound. Come on. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I don't know why that is. That's unfortunate, to be honest. That's absolutely unfortunate. Okay, so then apparently I'm not gonna play this. But basically, what they said, this is. We're gonna try this because this is actually important. So says like Binance will plead guilty to basically violating some of these acts that we have been talking about, right? Money transmitting business and willfully violating the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Basically, what they are saying here is that they pull CZ and Binance and they say, oh, they violated all these, and that they're basically gonna plead guilty of money laundering and all that to Hamas and all these other organizations. So, what is very interesting here is that you can hear. Unfortunately, I don't know why we don't know. I can't show this to you. I don't know why this doesn't work. I'll have to look that up. But what I know is that if you listen to this press conference, what it says is what this dude says is that basically you can hear it from his voice and you can read behind the lines that they could not find anything. They are accusing they are settling with Binance because of their because they basically couldn't find anything, and they are promising to go after they are basically threatening any exchange or any organization that operates within the United States, that they're gonna go after them. They say that and there is one thing that I actually wanted to show this to you for, is that they say that they allowed US customers, even after they announced that they're going to move out of the States, they allowed US customers to access the platform using a VPN. Now, which platform does not do that? So at the end of the day, I think very, very important to summarize some of the things. Number one, Binance should pay $4.3 billion. They make $12 trillion trading volume. So it's like, what am I talking about? $12 billion trading volume. So $12.7 billion trading volume. Why is this interesting? The runner-up is Coinbase with $2 billion. So they're 5-6x the time of the runner-up in volume. Now, the question really is, can this take Binance down, and can Binance go down and all that kind of stuff? So $4 billion honestly is nothing for them. If they can pay that for whatever reason, they will have backers lining up in the door and waiting for them to put money in. So obviously BNB took a big hit, a massive hit, and I will be honest with you, I bought a little bit. The reason why I bought a little bit is because I think we will see a resolution, and the fact that they actually handled it so nicely, and they came in and they said, there was no serious. If they would have come out and said, yeah, these guys were mingling with customer funds, and these guys were committing fraud and co-mingling funds and whatnot, I would be concerned. But the fact that they did not do that, they just came out and said, yeah, well, they did what all the other exchanges do. They didn't follow KYC. They didn't monitor. They didn't report the bigger amount of money being moved. Most probably because they didn't know, or they didn't get the help, or didn't get the resources to do it. It's not the end of the world, and $4 billion for Binance is not big. So that said, especially considering the fact that they are the largest trading exchange by volume, I don't know what they're on derivatives, but they are pretty also on derivatives, big time on derivatives as well, big time. Bybit, by the way, talking about Bybit, I know it's not the right time, but you can win an iPhone if you sign up with my link or recut KYC. Do that until the end of the month. You have 9 days. Link in the description, and you can win an iPhone. It's pretty cool. So they are big. They won't die. Again, Binance is safe for non-financial advice. Nothing we do here is financial advice. I would not be concerned about Binance going down. Especially now, especially now. Until this whole thing, came out, I was actually considering like what would happen because of all the situation, whether they money launder, whether exactly. This is why CZ pointed it out as well. Do not engage in any market manipulation, misappropriate any user funds. This is the most important. Now, whether they oblige with the regulations, I don't really care, to be very honest. In terms of whether they reported big chunks of money being moved or not or what, I don't care. So they are definitely not going down. Looking at Bitcoin, unfortunately, what we expect on Bitcoin is 33K. So if you come to the community, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to join our community and subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. I don't say that enough, but we do have the community for free to join until the end of the year. We do daily calls. We have a course coming up, professional trading, not the moon boy shit. We want to teach you. We want to help you. That's what we do. So link in the description. But what we're expecting is we do expect 33K, but here's the reason why I'm longing. The reason why I'm longing is because, again, the proper stop loss, obviously, but the reason why I'm longing is because if you see, there's not much holding back Bitcoin at this stage. Let me start it all over again. We're expecting 33K. So if you look at the 4-hour chart, we do come up to a major resistance zone up here to this OB. We reject from there. We do have a rejection. We close below a major low, indicating that we are going to come lower. We come retest this OB up here. Man, I miss my daily shows. We retest this OB up here, and then we see a rejection. The thing is that the rejection is not strong enough to break below these lows, which is 34,400. So that said, this thing can still be considered bullish, even though we do have a market structure shift, because it's very weak. It's very, very weak. So what we see, either my primarily, I do not think that we are going to see a big reaction because of this on the market. Now, people are, obviously already people are speculating that Binance will have to sell all their assets to cover this fee and all that. I'm telling you, people are going to line up to invest and put money into Binance to finance or bail Binance out of this $4 billion. Not even a question, in my opinion. So the reason why I think we're going to have one more leg up is because this thing should not have any impact on the market. This is weak. We might have a little bit of pullback and then a pump to 41K, and that's a major decision point, as we always discuss in the community. The second scenario is that we are just coming for the daily equilibrium down here, which would be around $33,200-ish dollars. So this would be like the main level that I would be looking for if we do see a break below here. We're potentially going to, just see a little break, come back, liquidity building, then engineering, touch on OB, higher high, move on. Like, this is the game plan that I would be looking at if we break below the lows. For now, however, I think that it's not gonna have a major impact on the market. If you look at the total market cap as well, the same scenario is playing out that we have talked about on Bitcoin. We have liquidity building up, so there is a possibility for it to move down a little bit, even to come down to the daily equilibrium down here at $1.19-ish trillion. But until this low is broken, we can easily push up. So we can come down to 1.315 and then push up. Bnb. Again, it's an absolutely risky play, especially if we consider that this was exit liquidity and they knew what's up, so we will have to see how this whole thing unfolds. I believe that Bnb is on a decent demand zone, and I do think that it had like a 14% drop on the news. 14% drop on the news. We took liquidity. We have left a void here. We have left relatively equal highs. I do think that Bnb is going to bounce, whether it bounces from here or from down here to 25 until we break 222. I'm not concerned. Not concerned at all. So that's about it. Rounding everything up, let me look at the chat for a second. Greetings from Germany. U.S. federal institutions are the gatekeepers for U.S. customers. Controls on and off ramps so taxes can be paid. Yes. But I'm so lucky they'll get KPMG as their monitor. Nothing burger. Now next news is ETF and we moon. Yes. Yes. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I just looked into the chat. Yes. Yes. So I looked into the chat. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with everything there. Basically, people just repeated what I said. Sorry for anybody who's rewatching this. So this is the expectation. This is what I see. I believe we're going to see Asia pump. I think this is a big relief. Whether we will see, you know, a little bit of consolidation and then pump maybe tomorrow, or Asia straight up pumping, which we have seen. So if you look at Asia has been pumping the market previously. This was Asia, for example. So we did see Asia having major pumps. This was Asia as well. So we do have a possibility of seeing Asia pumping the market. ETF 2023 or 2024? No ETF this year, I think. No ETF this year. Or if there's an ETF this year, it's gonna be between Christmas and New Year's. That's what I'm thinking. But we'll have to see that, guys. And as it goes for Binance, you know, I was wondering whether he will go to jail or whether he will not go to jail or whatnot. And the main. So I'm not a legal expert, and I know that I'm not a lawyer, but basically what most probably he's going to get is a 3 to 5 year probation, and you know. That's basically it. And if you consider the amount of money he has, and if you consider the impact that he left in the industry, and if you consider everything else that he's done, and how he can basically get out of the whole thing without any major issues, Binance paying $4 billion, he's basically off the hook. I don't see why this would not be a deal for him. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, scan this if you're watching on desktop, and if you're not, link in the description, because join our community and do all that stuff. Guys, it's extremely late. I'm super tired. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you guys are absolute legends. See you around.